Hello, it's your boy Sean Matrai here with the Tenyi combo guide. Now, I've already posted a video based on what Tenyi does. If you want to know what all the cards do, please click on that video below in the description. That showcases all basics of the deck and some replays. Also, this is going to be a complete combo guide on how to play Tenyi, going first and going second, and what the setups are. This, this we cannot do in Duel Links because if I attempt to do this in Duel Links, what's going to happen is we're going to have a mess of things because it's going to take us forever to get to the exact hands that we need. But I will be able to showcase you off what exactly the hands are and how you're going to go first or second into different matchups. If you would like to see more, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to me on YouTube. Help us get to 800 subs. We're only 16 away. Also, if you want to see a Tenyi to max climb or some Tenyi in stage 2, make sure you are like, comment, subscribe to YouTube, and also followed on Twitch. Until then, thank you for the support, and we're on to the video. Alright. So we're going to go into solo mode here. I'm going to write down some notes. Alright, so a 4-card hand. Now, if we open up Ashuna, Vishuddha, plus any Tenyi. So I'm going to write this. Ashuna at Hara. I should say Ashuna at Hara plus any Tenyi is full combo. So what is exactly full combo? Full combo is basically that we end on Draco Berserker plus, well, not full combo, but almost full combo. We end on Draco plus Berserker. And Berserker is your link 3, Draco is your level 8 synchro. So what we are going to do, now keep in mind we're going to work in the middle 3 zones here because we do not have 5 zones in Duel Links. So what we're going to do is we're going to special summon Ashuna, then using its effect. Now remember, Tenyis can be special summoned if all monsters you control are non-effect monsters, or if they are, or if there are no monsters on your field. So basically, if you control no effect monsters. Okay, so we're going to special summon Ashuna. Then we are going to go ahead and link off into our monk, our link 1. Then we are going to go ahead. Now in this hand, we could keep Shitana in the hand if we want to. Sometimes you want to keep it in the hand as a surprise factor to the opponent. But I think for an advantageous purpose and make sure we have fault, given the current hand that we have, we're going to want to discard it. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and preferably summon the Vishuddha. Now, you want to special summon Vishuddha because you really don't want to be normal summoning a level 7. Because then you can't go for your set. So we're going to special summon the Vishuddha. Then we're going to normal summon our Hara. And we are going to synchro summon using our Hara and our Vishuddha into Draco Berserker. After using Draco Berserker, we're going to activate Ashuna's effect from the graveyard, being able to special summon a Tenyi out of the deck. Now, if you're going up against Blue Eyes, you would want to summon Nahara. Nahara, I didn't explain too well in the last video because it wasn't in there. But basically what this card does is when your non-effect monster battles, you can make your opponent's monster lose 1500 attack. This is good against Blue Eyes and Lunalight because this can non-target out Lunalight Leo Dancer, Saber Dancer, or even in the case of Blue Eyes, a Chaos Max Dragon. But like Saber Dancer, you can out. Saber Dancer could also be outed with Shidana, but this is good to out the Leo Dancer specifically. But it can out both. And also good to deal with the Chaos Max. So if you feel like you're going to go up against Blue Eyes, you go for this. Anything else, I would probably go for Mapora if you think that they're going to use a lot of anti-targeting, a lot of targeting backer on you. So things like Crackdown, Book of Moon on like, well, Book of Moon really doesn't apply here because you can't book a link. But things like Chalice on, and they're not going to really chalice your link, but more like things like Crackdown, being the more preferable thing, Compulse on the link, things like that. Chalice and Book, like I said, really don't apply here because obviously you have a link monster, a normal link monster, what they're not going to chalice it, and you can't book a link. So anything targeting would be good. Also, protection in the mirror against Boxia. They want to hit your link. They're not going to be able to do that with Boxia. There are ways that they could play around it, but if you feel like you want to go for Mapora, you can to get that extra targeting protection. So that could be something you want to do. Other than that, your third option is to go for another copy of Adhara. And Adhara is really good because Adhara can give you follow-up. So in some cases, I do like to go for Adhara. So I'll go for Adhara here. But depending on the matchup, you can also make a Mapora too. Now, next we are going to go ahead and activate our Adhara effect, banishing it to add back Ashuna to our hand. Then we're going to link off our Monk and our Adhara, and we are going to special summon in the far left zone, Shaman. Next, we are going to activate Shaman. Now, in this case, you can keep Shitana in hand. I think for follow-up purposes, I want to get it in the graveyard. The advantage of keeping it in the hand is the surprise factor because he has no idea that we opened up Shitana. So if you were to go ahead and threaten our link with destruction, we could surprise him and banish from the hand. Tenyis can activate in the hand to banish as well as in the graveyard. But the advantage of discarding Shitana is that we have a Tenyi guaranteed in hand for follow-up along with Adhara. And I'll show you what I mean. Then we're going to go ahead and revive Monk with Shaman effect. And then we are going to go ahead link 3 into Berserker. Now, let me do this. The skill we are using is Legend of the Star Heroes, the one that puts Armor Max in turn 4. So we boost ourselves up to 6k life. And then, voila, we have our Berserker and we have our Draco Berserker. Now, in hand for follow, we also have our Ashuna, and then we also have Adhara. Now, Adhara in the follow, let's say we skipped around the turn, our opponent has cleared our field. Let's just say that, right? For argument's sake. Well, then on follow-up, we have Ashuna, link off of the Monk, and then Adhara can add back a Tenyi that we could potentially summon, potentially an Adhara of our own. So let's say we do this. We go on the follow-up to make a Monk, and then we'd activate Ashuna to, well, it doesn't even have to be Ashuna. It could be literally anything. If they have maybe a back row we want to deal with, we can Vishuda first, so we can banish that back row. Hit that. Then we can activate the Adhara that's in the graveyard. Like I said, sending the Adhara for follow-up. Adding back either an Adhara or the Vishuda itself. Adhara in rotation is really good, so we're going to add back the Adhara. And then if you wanted to, you can make, well, I didn't mean to banish that face down, but, so let's just put this back in the graveyard. We banish it face up this time. Make the Vishuda, and then make a Boxia. So obviously a lot of different plays you can make just upon that, even on turn 3. So there's a lot of things that you can potentially do, and then that can allow you to clear your opponent's board and have really, really strong follow-up despite that. And we didn't even draw for turn. We already had the Ashuna and the Horror set up already, so that just gives us a ton of different follow-up. Alright, so we're going to reset the deck here, and I'm going to show you a different hand. Alright, so one of the great things is Vessel. Vessel makes a lot of things happen really quick, and it can actually turn multiple different Tenyi hands into combo. So for example, if I open up an Adhara plus a Tenyi with Vessel, so if I open up Adhara, Ashuna, Vishuda, plus any Tenyi, I have full combo. Well, not full combo, but full combo without the field spell. Pretend this isn't here. So I'm going to show you. So, in this case, we'd special summon out. This could be Mapora, it could be Shitana, it could be any other Tenyi. But any of your level 4s work perfectly here. This is just going to show you the setup if we were to open up a level 4 as opposed to a different Tenyi. Obviously, if you opened up like a Harit and Ashuna, you would do a more optimal line. But in this case, you know, you could do this with any level 4. This is just like the basic, the low end here, if you will. So we're going to make our Monk, then we can go ahead and activate Vessel. And what Vessel does is if we have a normal link on the field, we could send, well, a non-effect monster, I should say. It doesn't have to be a normal link, but a non-effect monster in the field. Not only do we dump a worm, it could be any worm. If you're playing Master Duel, then, you know, you could dump Sword Soul things too, if you wanted to. Like, for example, you could dump, like, Moyi, Taya, if you wanted to get those back later on. There are other things you can do with that. You know, it goes further beyond the Tenyis. But anyway, we're going to dump a copy of our Ashina, and then here we can add a Vashuda. So after we do that, we can now special summon, normal summon, and then we can make, again, our Draco Berserker. Then we can activate our Adhara, or Shuna, I should say, excuse me. Banish itself, and again, you're poised with the same decision that we were earlier. Do I want to go for another Adhara, or do I want to go for... in this case, we have no Shitana, so it's better for us to go for Shitana. And then we can activate the Adhara that's in the graveyard. Banish itself. Add back our Ashina. Go ahead and make ourselves a Shaman. Pitch this. Revive back Monk. And then we make our Draco Berserker. Now, what's very important... I mean, not a Draco Berserker. Berserker. What's very important to know, specifically with this setup, is that in a case like this, we opened up the field spell, so we can go ahead and activate it, obviously. But what's also relevant here, and we gain back the 2k with the skill, is that we want to summon Berserker at the left zone. You may say, well, why do I want to do that? Well, because it's arrow points down right. If we summon it here, then what ends up happening is you have a down right arrow, and remember, Duel Links gets cut off here. So, I wonder if my draw on screen works here. Okay, it does. So, here in this case, right, oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Give me 1 second. Does this work? Just bear with me 1 second. I want to see if I can do this. Okay. You're not going to behave for me. Okay. So, I'm going to give it one more shot. Let's see if I can do something here. Okay. Yeah, this will work for this. Okay, as you can see, Duel Links, our zones, work like this. Right? So, in Duel Links, our box is here, for instance. So, in something like Duel Links, we can't go this way. Okay? This can't happen. Nor can this. So, in a case where we can't do this, we want to put Berserker over here. So that way we can summon a Monk on the follow-up to a downright arrow. Now, if our opponent also... would be the God field here. This is the God end board. If your opponent special summons a effect monster, then we can draw 2 cards. So if our opponent goes ahead and specials an effect monster, we pick up 2 cards. So that gives us insane follow-up, and now we have double Shitana, which can be useful. Even though you can only use 1 Shitana a turn, it's good for the grind game. And it's very good to keep in rotation, especially in the mirror match. So keep that in mind. Okay? Also, an advanced tip with Shitana is, let's say you battle their monster. Okay? This is very important to know. Alright? When you revive, right, both Shitanas are going to trigger. Okay? So, let's say you're in the mirror and you attack into their Berserker. The player attacking is always going to have the advantage. You're going to say, why is that? Well, let's say, let me put it to you this way. Let's say that Draco Berserker is not even on the field, right? Let's just say this is not even on the field. Okay, this is very important. You need to know this for the mirror match. So let's just say none of this is on the field, okay? Just for instance, all right? And I just have Shitana here, all right? And my opponent has a Draco Berserker as well. Or a Berserker. I don't have another Berserker in the extra deck, but I can show you here with a Monk. So let's say my opponent has Monk, right? And this is the scenario here. And you're saying, okay, what happens here? How does this interaction work? How does this interaction work here? Right? My opponent, I'm going to show you this the best way I possibly can. My opponent has a Shitana in the graveyard. I can't put it in their graveyard. I have a Shitana. How does this interaction work? Who wins here? Okay, I'm going to tell you who wins. First of all, both Shitana's effects activate. Now, because you're the turn player, you have priority. So, if you attack their Monk, right, Monk dies, right? So, since Monk will die, Monk will get destroyed, and then Shitanas will attempt to activate. So, your opponent will take 2k, and then Shitanas will attack to activate. Now, this is not, pretend this is not Monk. Pretend this is Berserker. Excuse me. I meant to say Berserker. So, pretend this is Berserker. So, both of these Berserkers crash. They go to the graveyard. I can't put his in the graveyard. But, so both go to the graveyard. Now, Chain Order activates. Your turn player, so your Shitana goes first. Then their Shitana goes. Now, that's for activation. That's just activation. Now, the way the effect resolves backwards. So, I'm going to write this down in chat. Your Chain Link 1 on activation. Okay? And then your opponent becomes Chain Link 2. Or should I say, whoever is attacked is Chain Link 2. Now, on resolution, Chain Links go backwards. So, they summon first, and then you summon. So, their Berserker comes out, then yours will come out. But, because at the time of resolution, you had no monsters on the field when their Berserker was summoned, they don't get to pop. But, because your Berserker comes out last, and they have a monster in their field, you do. So, keep that in mind. Okay, that's very, very important. And you need to understand that, because otherwise you're not going to be able to win the mirror. So you got to understand when and when not to activate your Shitana. So if you have an empty field, right, and you're getting attacked and you only have the one Berserker on your field, your opponent's crashing in, do not activate your Shitana. You're just wasting a resource. They're just going to pop you in the end. And you're going to give them another attack. Because since a new Berserker summoned to the field, it is treated as not having to attack yet, so they get to attack again. So be very careful with that. Alright? Alright. Anyway. Now, back to this. I'm going to go over this is the Uber God hand. This is the last turn 1 hand I'm going to go over. Alright? This is the Uber God hand. This is when you're open up 3 Tenyis. This could also, any of these Tenyis can also be replaced with Vessel. But let's just say Vishuddha, Ashuna, Adhara. You can also replace the Vishuddha with any Tenyi, and that's fine. I should say any Tenyi. Ashuna, Vishuddha, Adhara. I should say 2 of those. Plus circle. Alright, this is the Uber God hand. If you see this hand, and you're playing Tenyi, you're about to pop off. And this ends on Field Spell, so I should say Perfection, Berserker, and Draco Berserker. Alright, so what you're going to do is special summon your Ashuna, link it off, make Monk, special summon the Vishuddha. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Then we are going to normal summon the Adhara. Activate the Ashuna. Summon out whatever Tenyi you feel like. I would honestly go for Shatana here if you open up the sand because you want to prioritize that over anything else. Oops. Then we are going to go ahead and Synchro. Banish the Adhara. Add back the Ashuna. We're going to link these two off into Shaman. Discard Circle. Revive back Monk. Activate Circle's effect Engrave because we control a face-up non-effect monster. We can go ahead and add our Perfection. I don't keep attacking. Oh boy. Then we are going to go ahead and make Berserker. And we're going to go ahead and activate Flawless Perfection. So this is the absolute God board. And then we have Ashuna on the follow-up. We also have a draw 2 incoming if they special summon any effect monster. So if you go up against something like Lie Twin and they go Lila into Kill, or vice versa, you're going to get the draw 2. If you go up against BLS, they summon an Envoy, you're going to get the draw 2. Or anything other than the vanilla BLS. Also, you are also all non-effect monsters are unaffected by effect monsters' effects. Now, you gotta be very careful with this, because if you go up against the mirror match, don't try to pop any of their non-effect monsters. Like, don't go after the Berserker or Monk, unless you out your own field spell first. And a very good way to do that is with Boxia. So if you make Boxia, Boxia can out your own field spell, you can pop it. Another cool interaction I want to show you with Tenyi is that, let's say you have Boxia on the field, right? This is not related to the combo, but if you have Boxia on the field with Shatana in the graveyard, you can activate Boxia. I'm just going to throw in Adhara in the grave because you're going to need another target here. Because Boxia has to summon the level 4 or lower. So, let's say you have Boxia with Adhara in grave, right? I can go ahead and, well, this isn't going to work because I'm unaffected, but the field spell kind of not has to be here. So I have to put this back. So I can Boxia, pop my Berserker, and then I can revive back my Monk. I mean, not my Monk. I can revive back my Adhara. And then I can trigger my Shatana, and then revive back either my Monk or my Berserker, because all that needs to be done is just the Berserker itself, or the link has to be destroyed. So, if any non-effect monster would be destroyed, it doesn't have to be destroyed by your opponent, it can be destroyed by you. So, this is a cool way to extend and to get lethal. Very advanced play in Tenyi is Boxia popping either your Monk or Berserker to revive itself. So, thinking about those plays will help you win. Alright, now I'm going to show you a little bit going second. We are 23 minutes in, and I don't want to make this too long, because otherwise you guys won't watch it. So if we're going second, how do I get through disruption? What is appropriate? Well, I'm going to show you. Let's say you have like this, for example, right? Now, you have a billion Tenyis in hand, and you don't know what to summon first. Okay, I'm going to help you out. Now, instinctively, you think Vishuddha. But if your opponent has one disruption, that's cool. If your opponent has multiple disruptions, you couldn't be any more wrong to leave Vishuddha. So what you're going to do, and what I like to do, is I like to lead Ashuna or Nahata first. Now, you got to be careful. You got to make sure you're reading your opponent's delays correctly. So, for example, you go up against something like BLS. In the draw phase, if they have a BLS on the field, an Endymion or an Envoy, and you see a delay, you got to think that could be a Book of Moon. So if they have a Book of Moon, then you can lead, and you're confident in that they don't have a warning point, you can lead Ashuna first. However, the general play I like to do is to lead generally my 4 first. And the reason why this can work is because your opponent may end up not trying to play around Vessel. It's also really, really good if you have Vessel in hand, because A, they may not want to book it because they think it's a wasteful book, or B, that you end up having Vessel in the end, and then you can really punish them in that regard if they don't book it. Also, C, if they were to well, if they were to warning point it, we could still normal summon in Horror in this case, and then still combo off with Vessel. There are things we can do. I think though, yeah. So we could definitely do that as a fact. So that's definitely something we can do. So if they were to warning point the Nahara, then we could still do things with Arhara. So I'm going to show you. So let's say, for argument's sake, imaginary back row, they have warning point in the book. And we special summon this first. Now this works really effective if you have another level 1 in hand. Another level 4 in hand. If you don't have another level 4 in hand, this gets very dangerous. Then you want to lead a Shuna. So if I don't have another level 4 in hand, don't do this. Do lead your 4 if you have another 4 in hand. Or lower in hand. So basically, Mapora, Shitana, Nahara, or Adhara. Alright? So let's say my opponent activates warning point. Okay, now obviously I can't do anything with this. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to normal summon my Adhara. Alright, nothing happens. Let's go. We go ahead and we do not attack directly. We link summon into Monk. Now, we go ahead and activate our Vessel. And we can dump, what's the best one to dump here? We can dump Ashuna. We can keep the one in hand for follow-up if we want to. And probably add, probably, Donna. Now at this point, we could still find our way into Berserker. Now, unfortunately, we can't go into Draco because there's no way for us to do that here. But we can activate Vashuda from the end and also bounce something on the field here if we wanted to. So we could also bounce something on the field here if we so desired. So that's something you can do as well. Now, I would say that this is through warning point. I should bring this up. This is like making plays through warning point. If they have book, it gets a little bit more complex, I should say. And this is without opening up Heavenly. If you open up Heavenly, it's a lot simpler to get through warning point. But if you're trying to get through warning point by itself, then this is generally the best route you can go, I feel. So, through warning point, we still managed to get that. And that's if they warning point your level 4. If they don't warning point your level 4 and they wait it out, then you can Omega punish them that way. But if they warning point your level 4, you can still go into Berserker. And in this case, we still have Shitana in the graveyard. And we're going to have 6k life as well. So that's something you want to take into account. If you're going second with Heavenly, Heavenly makes it a lot simpler. Because then you can Heavenly tribute the warning pointed monster. And you can continue playing. For me, I always like to lead the level 7. Not necessarily. I like to lead it depends on really what the back row is, because it's hard to say, because definitively one back row that I'm able to lead something else. Like, if he has one back row, I'm going to lead Vashuda. But if he has, like, multiple back row, then it depends if I open Heavenly or not. If he has multiple back row and I open a Heavenly, I'm probably still leading the Vashuda anyway. Because that way I can search things. It depends, like I said, exactly what back row they have. But like for example, they have book. If I think they have book and warning point, and I have Heavenly and Vashuda in him, I would still lead the Vashuda, because likely they're gonna warning point the Vashuda, and then you're gonna activate the Heavenly tribute, and then at that point you can go for, a level 4. An Ashina. Search a level 4, summon the Ashina. They book the Ashina, and then you can continue playing the game. And then you're off to the races even after that. So there's a lot of things that you can potentially do. Even through both of those back row, you're still playing. Are you going to OTK through multiple back row? Probably not. Yeah. Now, unless you have, like, insanely good hand. Like you have Vessel and all that you just go through everything anyway. But the multiple back row, you're probably not OTKing, but you can at least establish a well-established field to make it really hard for your opponent to come back and then win them out in the grind game. So that's kind of what you got to thinking about. But yeah, that's going to be all for me in this video. If you like this guide, please follow me on YouTube. We're going to be doing a climb. So you guys are going to be able to see this deck in action 100%. So get ready for that. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitch. Help me get to 800 subs. We're going for 1,000. Until next time, peace.